Hi, Tonya. My name is DJ, and I watch your videos, and I follow you on Facebook, and so I need you to be my big sister.
I'm already your big sister, but you have to pronounce my name correctly. You said DJ is your name or BJ?
DJ.
DJ, like the person who spins the records at the party?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. I need you to pronounce my name Tanya, okay? You can do that, right?
Yes, of course. So
okay, wonderful.
I need some help from you. So let me just give you a quick background. I'm 31, turning 32 in July, and I'm in a relationship. My relationship is fine. I don't have any issues with respect to my relationship. However, there's something that doesn't give me peace in the relationship, which I can't directly put my finger on.
Okay.
I've been in my relationship for 2 years, but before that, throughout my whole 20s, I, lived my life, made my mistakes. But now at the age of 31, on the cusp of 32, I really find myself having to make decisions that now are going to impact my future in the way of my marital status. I'm single, but I want to see myself married, and I want to see myself in a healthy relationship, and I want to see myself having children, and I want to see myself doing all these things. Yet, so I play with the idea of maybe leaving this relationship in order to figure out exactly where I need to be. And instantly when I think of that, all of a sudden I'm overwhelmed with this fear of the what if.
The what if what?
And the what if, like, you're 31. What if you don't find someone in time? What if you can't have children? What if you've waited too long? What if? So it's like all these what ifs. I'm just trying to figure out how can I combat that, because I'm very spiritual. So, obviously I delve into working on myself, trying to self-help myself, trying to delve into my spirituality. But
DJ, let's start with this, right? Let's start with first and foremost, as you say you're spiritual, you know that you have guardian angels who are helping you. And if you are having a feeling inside that there's something wrong with this relationship, how much more do you need? How much more do you need? Do you need a wake-up call of an STD? Do you need a wake-up call? What is it that you need to validate this feeling that you have inside?
That question actually is so accurate, because prior to this, maybe about 3 years ago, I was in a 4-year relationship in which I felt this unease. And what had happened, I was on the cusp of breaking up with this person, and the breakup turned into this horrendous thing. And at the point of the breakup, I went through the whole mourning of the relationship, and then the idealizing of the relationship, and then finally I got over the whole process. But at that point, I felt like I was too caught up in everything that I couldn't make the final call to leave the person. So now I feel like I'm in a similar position, but every time I compare this person with that person. Well, this person is not that bad. Well, this person didn't have the same faults. But I still find that I still find that lack of peace.
Okay.
And it's exactly what you're asking, like, what else do I need? But then once I start coming to terms with it in my mind, saying, okay, maybe I need to do this, I get the fear of the what if.
Okay, well, that was the first thing that I wanted to ask you. Let me just say this, please. I want you to hear me and hear me very well, okay? There are 30 days in a month. There are 12 months in a year. I want you to please understand that chronologically, what determines your age are these preset passing of these days and months. What makes a person old are their cells. Okay. Every time when you eat, when time passes, your cells, if they don't get the building blocks that they need to fully repair themselves, when they go to regenerate, there's a little small part of the coding of that cell that doesn't get transferred over. So slowly by slowly, as the cells continue to regenerate, little pieces are left off time after time. Okay? So this is what happens to your cells, but each person is going to age at a different rate depending on how well they take care of their cells. So that's one thing that you want to just keep in mind, that each person is going to age at a different rate because of how well you repair your cells. And so here we are. I want you to please realize that you are exhibiting a pattern of not really taking care of yourself, not really saying, you know what, DJ, I trust you, I honor your feelings, and I'm going to take your feelings into consideration, and I'm going to do what's best for you. So you're not showing up for yourself in a way that is nurturing, in a way that is honoring you as a human being and as a person, as a sentient being. You're not taking care of yourself. Think about that. Time and time again, you say to yourself, DJ, please help me. I want to get out of this situation. I don't feel comfortable. And time again, you talk yourself out of it. That's not healthy for you. That's not respectful of yourself. There's a spirit that you have inside this human body, and your spirit is crying to leave. It's crying out, and your human body is not listening to it. DJ, honor yourself. Honor your spirit. It's like we have these guardian angels that send these messages to us, and we ignore them. Please listen to yourself. Respect yourself. Listen to that feeling inside. It's there for a reason. And if you want to talk about, oh, maybe you want this, maybe you want that, unfortunately, and listen, you better take heed, honey. Take heed. Take heed. Because all too often, listen, we women, we get put in this position where we're like, oh, what is going to happen to me? I'm going to be too old to have children. I might as well stay with this person. You set yourself up for a life sentence. Honey, you need to be happy. You need to be in a relationship in which you are fulfilled. It's not just about being with any person. God, you have to be happy. You don't want to know how many married women contact me who loathe their husbands, who grow these tumors inside because they're sick and they're filled with angst and just they're deteriorating inside because they chose a person who was not a good partner simply for the sake of being with somebody. How much are you willing to honor yourself as a human being? That would you rather put yourself in a position where you are sick to have to wake up next to a person every single day for the sake of having children with this person? How much do you care about yourself and your happiness?
I think
you
nailed
gotta
it on the head. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think you nailed it on the head. Because when I had talked about briefly my 20s, it was relationship jumping. And it wasn't until I got out of this 4-year relationship that I took a little bit of time to try to figure things out. But throughout those times that I was relationship jumping, I think I dated the worst of the worst. So now in this relationship that seems, compared to all the rest of them, this great thing, I can't reconcile in my mind why I don't still have peace for this person. So it's kind of like I'm trying to force myself, like you said, I'm trying to force myself. I'm trying to force a square shape in a round head.
Well, let's start looking at patterns, honey. Let's start looking at patterns. These people, you see, I'm listening to a young lady who has constantly abused herself with relationship. I'm getting a feeling. The feeling that I'm getting, gosh, I'm getting this agitated feeling about, goodness. I'm getting a feeling about some self-worth issues. I'm getting a feeling about not wanting to be trapped. I'm getting a feeling about, goodness, I can't put my finger on it, but I'm getting a feeling about something that's going on inside of you and something that you need to pay attention to that's inside of you. Let's talk about some patterns. Let's talk about your childhood and the relationship that you had with your mother and your father. Where did you see that it was okay for you to abuse yourself with a relationship? Where did you witness that?
That was with the relationship I had with my father.
Your father was abusive?
My father was not abusive. My father was absent, and he would come and visit every few months. He had another relationship. That's why him and my mother broke up. He had cheated on my mother, and he had other children, so I possibly have half siblings out there. But he invested his time and his energy in those other children, and with me, he didn't. But I was brought up to still care for him, and I understand why that was, because at a young age, it was a big deal not to implant a seed of hate. But it wasn't until most recently, before my 30th birthday, that I realized that relationship created an issue with how I see myself. Because if my father didn't spend the time with me, if my father didn't have the self-worth from me, then and I dealt with that. It seemed like every other person that I was dating exhibited pieces of that. Not all at once, it wasn't so blatant. But it seemed like there were.
You know what? We have to take some time, my dear. We have to take some time for you to really, really, really go back there and heal some of that old hurt, and really reinforce your own self-worth and your own self-love and your own self-esteem. We really have to get back to the root, and we have to get to a point. See, because number one, let me tell you something. Your feelings as a young girl were never honored. They were never, what's that word, golly? What's the word for when, they were never, I don't want to say justified. Let's just keep going forward, because we only have a little bit of time left before the show is over. But your feelings were never honored as a child, and so here we have, as an adult, now you are not honoring your own feelings as an adult. You were forced to show care and respect for a man who did not show care and respect for you, so that you were taught to abandon your own feelings. Oh my goodness, I just got a message saying that there's only 90 seconds left. So my dear, listen, I want everybody to tune back in. I'm going to let you off the line. Was that at least somewhat helpful for you?
It was, yes, it was very helpful. Thank you.